Everyone just wants to live, laugh, love. But in this disappointing world, there are many who are
Hello?
faced with lies.
There's no way I'm actually dealing with a person that is this terrible of a human being.
How can she claim that she's pregnant with your child, but you have never had sex with her?
The more that you fight me, the more your lies get exposed.
This is Live, Laugh, Lies.
Okay, Clayton Echard, welcome to Live, Laugh, Lies.
Thank you for having me. This is, it's been a while since we've last spoke, so.
It's been a minute.
And I have a lot of crazy things to talk about.
Reunited, and it feels so good. If you're new here and not familiar with Clayton and Susie's dynamic, allow me to provide a bit more context. Back in 2021, Clayton starred as the lead on a little reality TV show called The Bachelor. 31 women competed for his heart.
We all want the same thing. These women will do whatever it takes.
I am falling in love, and it feels so good. No matter how much turmoil I might have to experience, it'll be so worth it. I'm so broken.
But only our very own Susie would win him over.
Get over here, big boy.
I'm falling in love with you.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Susie, will you accept this final rose?
Yes.
From finding love on TV, to dating in real life, to parting ways as dear friends, these two have a colourful history, and indeed some crazy things to talk about.
This actually feels kind of right.
We might be competing with who's messier at this point.
Who's messier?
Yeah.
Me inviting you on my podcast, you running into scandal after scandal, literally since coming
You were
off the show.
part of one of them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I also contributed, I guess, to part of that. But
Again, on the right side of things. Yeah, you helped shut it down very quickly.
I tried, but I also made you prove. Remember, I was like, you got to prove to me that this woman is not telling me the truth.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I've realized a lot actually recently. I had an incredible conversation with this guy. I'm a part of a men's book club. I just joined it. But I talked to this guy last week, and we were talking about the whole experience on going on The Bachelor. And I was talking, he was asking me about like why things didn't work out with us. And I said, well, like when in any relationship that there's two sides. So I said, there were certain things that I didn't agree with that she did, but there's things that I did that she didn't agree with. And he asked me, he's like, well, what do you think you could have done better? And I was thinking about it, and we were kind of chatting back and forth. I said, I was a wreck. I was very emotional. I needed a lot of help every day to like just pull myself back up. And you were doing that. It was a really interesting conversation because, I mean, when he said that to me and told me, I'm like, yeah, no, that's what happened. Like, and then ultimately you just got to the place where you're like, I can't keep doing this. You were worn out because you needed to like also deal with what you had went through. But we were so focused on what I was going through. Mm-hmm. So it's been really cool to like go through this journey. I've been diving really deep since the show, really, on self-improvement and just trying to understand and really believing at this point that everything that's happened to me has been as a result of what I allowed. I actually had another conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago, and I said, yeah, the show, gave me a villain at it. And she goes, whoa. The show made you a villain, or you made yourself a villain? And I said, well, I mean, they definitely could have portrayed me in a better light. She said, yeah, but how did you become the villain? So I told her like what happened on the show. And she said, so you took those actions, you took them, right? I said, yeah. She goes, then you became the villain, because what if you didn't take those actions? Would you have been the villain? Could they even have made you a villain if you didn't take those actions? I was like, no, they wouldn't have had anything.
Interesting.
So she's like, right. So ultimately you were the one that made yourself the villain. And
I always say this because I know that you experienced the villainous, like you were the Bachelor villain. At least that's how you're portraying, or you're saying it right now. But like everyone's a villain. Like I've been saying that since we used to date. Everyone's a villain in someone's story. Like I've been a villain in someone's story in the real world. It just wasn't filmed.
Yeah.
Everyone has been the villain. And if everyone had their dating life filmed and exposed, we've all done shitty things. Like period. So like, yes, there's certainly actions you could have taken or not taken that would have helped you, but like you had a major pile on, and it's a thankless, like there's no way that you can win as the lead, in my opinion. Like there are obviously people that have been successful and they even have successful relationships out of it, but at the end of the day, like nobody wants to really see a guy date 30 women. Like it's a lose-lose for you. So I hear you, and it's like, it's wonderful to hear you be like, oh, I took these actions, and you're taking responsibility for how you've hurt people, and like everyone wants to hear that, and that's amazing that you like feel that way. But also like I don't want you to like beat up on yourself too hard, because it's like everyone's done things that would look bad if it was filmed, edited, and put back out for the world to see.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I mean, I there was a time where I thought, well, let's throw a camera on any one of you that are pointing the finger right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, in 3 months of filming, you would look equally as bad, if not worse.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's more, it's not even beating myself up at this point. I just really do believe that I'm in control of everything, control in a sense of my actions and reactions. So
that's great.
I just look at it like I can always be better. I could make the excuse and say, yeah, well, the show could have pulled some punches instead of hitting me with all these uppercuts. Like they certainly didn't hold back. And yeah, certainly they decide to give an angel edit to certain people. And you're like, that
like
person.
me?
I don't know what kind of edit you got. We kind of shared I don't know. I mean.
No, that's true. People did hate me for a minute too, but yeah.
You were the angel. Well, I mean, again, like it was. I just go back to, we had the Camp Susie, Camp Clayton. So you were like the star. Everybody loved you up until the end, and then I would say, people still. Nobody. I don't think people had the amount of hate that they had for me. But you also, I remember the DMs you got. I mean, you got some nasty DMs too.
Yeah.
And so maybe I got more at one time, but I felt like yours kept trickling in.
Yeah,
where everyone kind of just like punched me all at once, and then they're like, all right, he's beat up, he's in the corner. Whereas like you were kind of just getting like comments for a longer duration.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was tough though, right? And then like we, of course, I know personally that where I am now, I was nowhere near as emotionally mature as I am now. And I'm not saying that to tout myself like, oh, I've done so much healing, but I have done a lot of healing.
That's great. I think that's important. That's like something coming off of reality TV. And getting punched when you're down, you're either going to stay down or you're going to rise back up. And like you have not stopped working on yourself to become a better person, soul searching, being in men's group or book groups or whatever, like just being proactive about your mental health and figuring out what it is. Like everyone's journey is going to look different. Everyone's opinions and values are going to look different, but like there's no doubt that you have poured into yourself, and that is so applaudable. And I think that's like, it's the beauty of reality TV too, is like you really do put yourself out there and put yourself through emotional turmoil, allow the world to judge you, and you can either become a really horrible person because of the good and the bad that comes your way, or you can become a really wonderful person. And so, I mean, even hearing you say all this, I'm like, this is like, it's great that you've been so introspective and really like worked on yourself and taken accountability and just like, yeah, grown and see your own growth. Like you have so much to be proud of. So I love that.
Do you feel like your experience made you a better person? Like substantially, a little bit?
I think it's made me grow a lot. I think it's forced me into like corners of myself where I'm like, oh, I don't like it here. And I haven't had to face this before. So I think that it's forced me to really grow in a lot of ways. And I think I've always been a really empathetic person. So I've always like really had compassion for people. So I don't know that I have gotten more, because like I say, my favorite thing to say is that everyone's a villain, where like I just think going on there, it's like you are exposed to so much more, and you see like reality, and then you see what reality, in quotations, like reality TV is. So you have more compassion for people even that you see, whether it's online or on TV, and it's like they're labeled a villain, or they're labeled, whatever you want to call it, bad. And I don't know, I don't think I'm ever going to like label somebody as like bad or a villain, because I just think that we're all humans, and like as long as somebody's willing to grow, which some people aren't, but as long as somebody's willing to grow, then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have like empathy and compassion for that person and hope that they're going to grow, because obviously that's how we have a better society, is like people look at themselves, want to be better, and get better. And so maybe that's, part of the beauty of reality TV too, is like when people kind of see their inner demons exposed, and it allows them to be like, oh, maybe I need to like look at this.